I mean, what happens to what the Bible said about John 8 verse 4, that he who has not sinned should cast the first stone. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Remimo and I'm also known as Number 5 and also known as TMO5 Kanduko. If you're new to my channel, welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for always coming back. So today's video has actually, I've been contemplating if I really want to talk about this, but I was reflecting and I felt it was right that, we all have our own opinions, so it's in regard to the gospel singer Sammie Okposo. As you all know, Sammie Okposo passed away at the age of 51 on the 25th of November. So as reported by Instablog, that according to an insider, that he has been hypertensive for a while and he slumped in the early hours of Friday 25th of November at his home in Lagos. So Sammie Okposo passed away on 25th of November, and I felt really sorry for him. Like, let's go back to talking about Sammie Okposo, as in, who is Sammie Okposo? So Sammie Okposo was born on the 30th of May in 1971, and he was a very popular Nigerian gospel artist, and his genre is gospel, as you already know, and his occupation is a singer and a psalmist producer. So according to his profile, he has been active from 1992 up until 2022 when he passed away, and his label was Zama Entertainment. And Sammie Okposo was married to Ozioma Okposo, so he got married to his wife in the year 2010. It is known that Sammie Okposo has a child called, let me see if I can find the name of that child. I think it was Alioma or something. That was the name of that child. I'm not sure, but if I find the name of that child, I'll pop it somewhere here. So we don't really know much about, I don't really know much about that child. However, it's not been said maybe this child was with his wife or maybe previous relationship. And then in terms of Sammie Okposo's gospel, so Sammie Okposo sing a lot of songs, and when I got to know him was when he sang this gospel song that actually shot him to fame, that became really popular. So I'm just going to see if I can play that song on Spotify for you guys now. Okay. So that was one of the song that kind of like shot Sammie Okposo to fame there. So and recently this year, there was a news that Sammie Okposo had an affair. So this girl, or this lady came out, this lady known as African Doll, came out to say that Sammie Okposo impregnated her and abandoned her. So when this news came out, Sammie Okposo came out the day after, apologized, and from there he took a time off from social media, saying that he was going to reconnect back with God, that he was not going to do anything, just so he could retrace his steps back and just make a new life ahead of himself after he had after that happened, or after that affair happened. And in a way, his death was a very sudden and shock news. However, I felt something must have contributed to him passing away so suddenly. Yes, we all know in this woke generation, there's been a lot of talks about, men having an affair, cheating, and stuff like that. So with Sammie Okposo is known to be a very popular gospel singer, and I don't think I've read anywhere that he has ever been addressed as a pastor, but I know he sings in mostly gospel Christian arenas. So for someone who is known to almost every Christian centers, for a news like that to come out to say he cheated, he had an affair, while he goes about singing gospel songs and stuff like that, and for the fact that that happened to him, I'm sure that kind of like broke him, and I felt that it was not, I don't think it was just the hypertensive issue that actually killed him. I think the fact that the news of that affair broke out was one of the things that broke him. And here I'm not apologizing or I'm not saying it was all right for him to have an affair, no, but I'm just kind of looking at an angle as to the things that could have impacted his sudden demise. So yeah, the news about that affair, and then two, I felt the cancel culture of the CAN. So I think that's the Christian Association of Nigeria. I felt the cancel culture of the social media contributed to that. I felt the relationship from other Christian bodies or other Christian pals or pastors he sang in the churches. I think that contributed to his sudden demise. And again, I was actually thinking, did he decide to have an affair, to have a child, or to have another child? And this is not me stipulating that maybe his wife is not able to have a child or anything like that. I don't know about the status of his wife or him, but you know, him having an affair, could it be because he was trying to have a child? You know, could that be the reason why he had an affair? And was the Christian, just like I said, was the Christian community too harsh on him? Because there's been a post from two religious bodies or pastors who said that they had a conversation with Sammie, and he did mention that they said he had some discussions with them as to how he was treated when that news of his affair came out. So I'm going to read one of that to you. So a very controversial person in the Christian world, as we all know, Apostle Suleiman, came out saying that now they post his pictures but never reached out to him in his trying times. I believe the trying times he was talking about was when he had that affair and the news came out. Apostle Suleiman mourns Sammie Okposo's demise. So according to Apostle Suleiman said now they post his pictures but never reached out in his trying times. He told me what pastor did to him, and we both wept. Love has left the church. We have more lawyers who are ready to judge than intercessors ready to restore. Rest in power, my brother, you conquer. So that was what Apostle John Suleiman said about him being cancelled by the Christian community. That there were a lot of people who actually pointed the accusing finger at him. So there was somebody else as well called Pastor Dr. Abel Damina, who also said that if he said the church actually killed Sammie Okposo. And I've read a lot of there were a lot of people like Daddy Freeze also saying that this Pastor Abel Damina was right in him saying that yes, that the church contributed to how Sammie Okposo passed away. So with all these things, like, you know what, I just sat down and thought that Sammie Okposo, prior to this affair that he had coming out, I don't think I've ever heard anything about him in a negative way. And I just felt in my own, I mean, like I said, the questions I had was that the news about his affair, yes, we are all kicking against men having an affair, and he came out to apologize for his wrong, and he took a step back to kind of like retrace his steps and, you know, refresh himself in spirit. And I felt that news alone kind of like shattered his image, because, you know, he would go to most churches to sing gospel songs. So one way again is that he's going to lose source of income, because, you know, all of these churches kind of like, you know, stayed clear away from him. They don't want anybody who has had such badge of a married man having an affair. They don't want that connected to them. And this me talking now is my opinion. I felt, yes, that the Christian community we were too harsh on him. They were too harsh because, yes, he fell and he retraced his steps. I felt they should, rather than they doing away with him, they should have kind of like, you know, intercess on his behalf, counsel him, be with him the more, try to understand the reason why he fell rather than being shoved away. I mean, what happens to what the Bible said about John 8 verse 4, that he who has not sinned should cast the first stone. Obviously, those who casted him, they can never tell me they've never sinned before. They might not have an affair, or they might not be involved in what the kind of stuff that Sammie Okposo did, but they cannot say they've never sinned before. And majority of the people in the Christian community were the first people to cast the stone. and I felt the cancel culture was too much. It was too harsh. It was too harsh. I mean, guys, what do you think? I went to church today and I sat down and I just couldn't get him out of my head. Like, you know what? They said Jesus. I mean, I was just thinking, what if Jesus was here? What would Jesus have done to him? Even though he knew what he did, he apologized for it. And his wife stayed with him, you know. And it's just so sad that it's left and departed from this world. There were a lot of comments. I'm going to try and show the comments at some point where people were like, yeah, the church contributed to him passing away so suddenly, because he should have been supported rather than being left on his own to carry his cross on his own. He was a Christian, and being a part of the Christian community, they should have intercessed for him, prayed for him, you know, mentor him, be with him rather than being neglected, which kind of like gave room to those two pastors I mentioned saying that the church actually contributed to him passing away because they did nothing. And lots of people are posting him on their pages to say RIP to him when he needed people's help, when he needed people to stay by him, stand by him. They were busy castigating him. And you know, with the social media cancel culture, people are always terrible when it comes to comments, saying a lot of things, you know. I mean, it's now I understand that when they say that you won't know how it hurts until you are wearing the shoes. Obviously he wore the shoes, it hurt, and this is, you know, look at what ended him. I felt so sad that, you know, we've lost one of the good gospel singers who sings, you know, is a very, very energetic gospel singer. You know, that is song well, every time I listen to that song, it moves me in a different direction. And it's just sad that he's gone at a very young age of 51. There will never be another Sammie Okposo, just as other gospel singers that has passed away. This one kind of like came as a shock, and it was the least death I expected at all. But what can we do? I mean, guys, with all these questions, I'm going to ask these questions again. That is, with the affair that he had, was the Christian community too harsh on him? Was the cancel culture too harsh on him? What do you think about what the Bible says in John chapter 8 verse 7? And did we think that, or did it ever occur to us, did it occur to you or I that maybe he had that affair so he could have a child? Because he's been married to his wife for 10 years or 12 years, and I don't think they have a child together. Correct me if I'm wrong if they have a child together, I'm not sure. So guys, these are the questions I've got, and yeah, leave your questions in the comment section for me. I'm going to be reading them, and I just hope that he rests in peace wherever he is. And yeah, so this is just a short video. I just thought, you know what, let me just put it out here. He's a great man. He's a very great gospel singer, and I don't think there will ever be another Sammie Okposo in this world again. And I pray that wherever, I mean, obviously is our senior in death now, and I pray that God grants him that eternal rest as he's left this sinful world. Anyway, thanks guys, this is the end of my video, and if you're yet to subscribe, what are you waiting for? So don't forget to like, drop me a comment, and you'll leave an opinion in the comment section. Subscribe if you're yet to do so, and turn on the post notification, and I hope to see you in my next video. All right, bye.